Hello everyone, it is me again. Sorry for having to do another video in my car. My dog and wife are asleep right now, so basically out here because the other rooms get the AC blasted, and then one of the other rooms, the wall sockets don't work in there. But yeah, we're going to talk about two deals from the other day, that being the Brock Boeser extension as well as Nick Paul's extension. So this was, kind of fun for me in terms of the Boeser extension. As a Canucks fan myself, Boeser is a guy that I really like as a player. He was able to sign a 3-year extension. It was about $20 million. The 25-year-old winger was, I should say, an RFA, and they hadn't got very far. Multiple times, I think they had tried to talk about a new deal, and prior to this deal being done, they had not got very far with getting an extension going, and I think that he was talking more about him being a trade piece for the team. I am aware that Brock probably could still very well be traded, even though we get this extension going, so I'm not going to get too excited just yet. But I do think that we are aware of what Brock is going to be at this point. I don't think he's going to be a superstar, sadly, but he is a guy that, regardless of what team he's on, he is a middle six, I think a second-line winger that's very capable of being on a team that is trying to make some noise and would be a welcome addition to many teams that would be trying to get something going. Now, we know he's not great defensively, but he is kind of known for his offense more. He played just about 2.5 minutes on the PK all year this season, but still proven to be a capable goal scorer. Has 4 20-plus goal seasons under his belt, got a good wrist shot, able to get good looks down low, be able to score from space, and then can hesitate at times if he needs to. The problem is for Brock, I feel like, is that he's not really able to create a lot of offense for himself, and relies a lot on his teammates to get him those offensive opportunities. Yes, he can score, like I said, but at the end of the day, it's going to be one of those things where he might struggle to get in the zone. Maybe he struggles to set up his teammates, things like that. So I'm hoping that maybe he's able to take a step forward now that he has got this deal and knows that he might be a little bit more secure. And, I'm going to say at the end of the day, Brock is not a bad guy. Yes, there was talk about, he struggled on the power play. He had not struggled on the power play, struggled at 5-on-5. He had 9 full-strength goals, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in over 1,000 minutes of play. I'm actually be 5-on-5 or full strength, I can't remember. But either way, he was only getting, minimal goals of what he was able to score at full strength or 5-on-5 compared to 11 power play goals in 217 minutes played. And again, I know people seem to think, Brock is just this guy that's only good on the power play. I'm hoping that he can kind of change that narrative. But you got to remember, this is a guy that I do think has had some moments where people thought maybe he could be a 35-plus goal scorer some years. I don't know if I'd go that far just yet. He's been close. I don't know if I ever see him being a 50-goal scorer. I don't think that'll ever happen. But he's getting paid about $6.65 million per season. I can absolutely live with that. And I think we're kind of in limbo from where we finished last year with Bruce Boudreau. Got to figure out what's going on here. JT Miller, all these things going on. I don't know what's going to happen. If things don't work out, Brock probably will get traded, but so will some other guys as well as we retool. But yeah, I think this is a good deal, and you have to remember, everybody's saying, this was a bad year for him. His dad, who has been battling with Parkinson's for years, unfortunately took a turn for the worst and passed away. And if you've ever had a family member that, has had a prolonged illness or disease, anything like that, you know how hard it is, not only for them, but for yourself, because you're constantly thinking about them while trying to do everyday life things. For Brock, I imagine that's really difficult. Do I think he's going to turn it around? Probably, hopefully, but you have to remember, his dad did pass away, I believe, at the end of May, and at the end of the day, I'm just glad that he's able to get this extension, and hopefully feels like he is at home around guys that he's familiar with. And overall, yeah, I like this signing. Now, moving on into other news, you got the Nick Paul signing. I have to say this extension was interesting just because I think this really did expose the fact that Ryan McDonough was going to leave. Ended up leaving, just did a video on that today. And at the end of the day, money was an issue. Paul is a guy that they felt like they wanted to bring back. He was able to play 42 minutes with them, or 42 games, total games, including the postseason this year. He scored some big goals for the Lightning, and probably will be a guy that is a very reliable third-line guy for them. Been good defensively over the course of his career, and is coming off a career year in terms of goals with 16 and points with 32. Now, he's not going to get a lot of minutes on the power play, so I don't expect that to be the case, but I could see him getting considerable time on the PK, average 1 minute and 53 seconds of time on ice per game played with the Lightning, which was the 8th highest average on the team this year. Overall, just kind of a weird deal, though. I don't think the money was an issue, but I think the fact that he's 27, they'll be paying him into his early to mid-ish 40s was weird. That 7-year part was the part that really threw me for a loop. But yeah, this was one of those things. It was a tipping point for McDonough to get traded. And I'm curious to see if they'll be able to get Paul. Seems to be one that they really want to keep. Makes sense considering he had, what was it, like 7 third-period goals in the postseason and was a capable, if not big part of the reason that the Lightning were able to go on into the final. Of course, didn't win it, but was an interesting signing there, that being Paul. Now we'll get to see if Paul gets to stay. What do you think of these signings? Were they good or bad? Let me know down below in the comments. Everybody stay safe. Hey, have a great night, and you can go off hockey, all right? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.